His world flyweight title on his own home ground.
It's 42 years since there was a world flyweight title defence in the King's Hall, and that was Rinty Monaghan against Jackie Patterson.
March the 23rd, Belfast, and everything was in readiness for the start of the world's flyweight title match between Rinty Monaghan of Belfast and Jackie Patterson, the defending champion from Glasgow. Round 7. Over the ropes and a right to the body, and down goes Patterson, and he's in trouble. Patterson's going to beat the count. He just manages to get up on the count of 9. He staggers to his feet. He's in trouble. Monaghan rushes in for the kill. He measures his man carefully, fummels him about the head and body to the ropes. Vicious right hook to the jaw. Now an uppercut. Now a left and a right uppercut to the body. And Patterson gets set to go down with a right to the jaw. Victor and vanquished. Pose for the photographers. Monaghan, obviously, the happier of the two.
My first two attempts to win the world title were at the hands of Fidel Bassa in the same arena.
Oh, he's going to the right, and that may be good night. Bassa sees his chance. Oh, he's gone. McAuley's going. It's all over in the 13th round. And it's all over. Bassa retains his title.
It was in London 9 months ago on June the 7th when I won the world title against Duke Mackenzie at Wembley Arena. The time is now right for me to come back to the King's Hall to make my second defence against Lewis Heidi Curtis in the King's Hall in front of my own hometown fans on St Patrick's night.
Well, St Patrick's night has arrived for Northern Ireland's Dave McAuley and the King's Hall Belfast venue, full of those memories of Rinty Monaghan and more recently Barry McGuigan, may well provide the inspiration for a successful defence of his IBF World Flyweight title. Good evening, it's Dave McAuley against the American Louis Curtis. Live coverage coming up. We've heard all about McAuley. Curtis, the American champion, 3 defeats in 20 fights. He comes from Maryland. He's had a long career, though, and this fight his first in something like 16 months. So that's Curtis's problem. McAuley's problem, that came at yesterday's weigh-in. And under IBF regulations, the weigh-in needs to be 24 hours in advance of the fight. And McAuley needed 4 attempts to make that 8-stone limit. He sat in front of a heater to sweat off something like 8 ounces before he finally made it. Now, Rod Douglas, the recently retired middleweight contender, is with us. The weigh-in problems for McAuley, does that cast some kind of doubt over his fitness?
I don't think it casts a doubt over his fitness, but his discipline and his approach for a world title fight. He's been in training for a couple of months and he's tapered his weight down from training weight down to fighting weight. So he should have been and disciplined himself enough to come in at the correct weight and not make many attempts at the scales.
Might he feel it during the course of a long fight?
I don't think so. 8 ounces isn't much to take off, but it could tell, like maybe mid-round, he might start to tell on his legs and he might feel a little bit tired.
Now, Curtis out of the ring for 16 months. What sort of sharpness do you lose there?
That depends on how long he's been training for this fight. I mean, you lose a lot of sharpness. The longer you stay at the ring, the more sharpness you lose, and the timing goes out a little bit. But it depends on how much he's been training before this fight.
And then again, McAuley was out of the ring for, what, 16 months when he took the title from Duke Mackenzie?
Right, but at the same time saying that he was in the ring preparing for the fight for a long time. But at saying that, I think it's both even Stevens for both men. They've both got little defaults, and we'll see what happens tonight.
And this crowd will surely give Dave McAuley quite an edge.
Very nice night for the fight here in Belfast, and especially on Paddy's night.
Okay, Rod, thanks very much. So it's Dave McAuley against Louis Curtis, world title fight, sponsored by Smirnoff. Harry Carpenter is ringside, and the boxers about to enter this packed and very noisy arena.
And the lights go out in this famous arena, and the fighters will make their way to the ring. And when they come into this arena, they will walk into a wall of sound, because Belfast has the greatest set of fight fans you'll find anywhere in the world. The challenger, Louis Curtis, leads the way. Well, as you've heard, Curtis has been out of the ring for some 15 to 16 months. But I was talking to him yesterday, and he explained that he did have a fight lined up in that time, but it fell through. So he had, in fact, trained hard for that fight. So he's only had to top up, as it were, on his training, and I think we'll find he'll be pretty fit. And the American makes his way into the King's Hall ring, and is greeted with a mixture, as you might expect, of booing and cheering. The cheering will be as nothing to that which will greet the world champion, Dave McAuley, fighting as world champion in his home city for the first time. Trevor McClintock and B.J. Eastwood lead the champion to the ring. This whole place just thunders and rumbles with noise. This is a big arena, and it's a long walk to the ring. And this is so reminiscent of those wonderful nights in the days of Barry McGuigan. And the chant of "Here we go" thunders out as the world champion climbs into the ring. And the corner is all green for St. Patrick's night. And you'll find when these two come together that McAuley will be considerably taller than his challenger.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we can have your attention, please. Tonight is St. Patrick's night, so why don't we all sing and let the great British viewing public hear how we can all sing Danny Boy on St. Patrick's night.
The MC, Danny Small. last time I heard that was in New Zealand only a few weeks ago, when the gentleman who couldn't get his tape to play gave us his own rendition for an Irish winner. So the scene is set. The one doleful character in the ring during the singing of Danny Boy appeared to me to be the challenger, Louis Curtis, perhaps not quite appreciating the Irish enthusiasm. But enthusiasm there certainly is. And we could be in for a very good fight indeed between these two, who could well be of contrasting styles as well as physiques. The tall McAuley, who's an attacker and who likes to go to war with his opponents. And I suspect Curtis is going to be a basic.
This is the principal contest of the evening, sponsored by Smirnoff. 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the IBF Flyweight Championship of the world. At the weigh-in, both boys weighed 8 stone even. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger in the red corner, from Forest Hills in the USA, Louis Curtis. In the red corner, from Larne, the world champion. The officials appointed by the IBF, your referee from New Jersey, Mr. Randy Newman, your judges from England, Roy Francis, from West Germany, William Garber, and from Washington, D.C., Milton Green. Your supervisors, Robert Lee and John Anderson, appointed by the British Board of Boxing, the stewards in charge, Derek Monteith and Bill Sharon, your inspectors, Pat McHugh and John Toner, your medical officers, Dr. George O'Neill and Dr. Paul McKeown, and your timekeeper, Mr. Dale Elliott.
The formality's over, and the formidable figure of Randy Newman, ex-heavyweight boxer, who's refereed 16 world title fights in 5 different countries, brings these two diminutive figures together. 8 stone is the limit, and they both made it on the dot. As you heard, McAuley had a little bit of trouble getting there, but in the end he made it. McAuley 28, and Curtis says he's 32. I'll let you know a little later why I think that might just be a little suspicious.
Round one.
The American challenger in the white trunks, trying to take the title from McAuley of Larne, 20 miles from here. I've seen Curtis just once before, and that was in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, when he was a light flyweight, and he lost his first contest there to a Pole. And I was looking up my notes the other day, and he retreated throughout that contest, which is why I said earlier I think he might be elusive. His official birth date, given on the Olympic entry list at that time, was March 1955. And if that's right, then he is in fact 35 and not 32. Curtis, a very, very slim figure, light on his feet. Noticeably already dancing around this ring rather more than the somewhat flat-footed McAuley. McAuley won the title last June at Wembley from Duke Mackenzie, and then defended it later in the year against Dodi Penalosa of the Philippines. He picked up several injuries on the face in that fight. Cuts around both eyes and on the bridge of the nose. But he won it overwhelmingly on points. although the judge from the Philippines actually gave the decision to his countryman, which needed a fine stretch of imagination. Neat little attack set up by McAuley. It's a much quieter first round than sometimes McAuley has. Way against his opponent. No about him. Curtis is the United States Boxing Association champion. So a cautious and quiet opening round. Well, that was an unusually quiet round for McAuley, who does like to attack and who can punch, but clearly decided. He just have a little 3 minutes there, sizing up the opposition. And of course, the only man who's ever beaten him in 2 fights was Fidel Bassa of Colombia. Both those fights were in this ring, and the first one was sensational. McAuley came within seconds of winning the fight, couldn't quite clinch it. One more knockdown would have done it automatically, and he didn't quite make it, and then in the end was beaten, I think, on exhaustion as much as anything else. But one of the most remarkable fights, that first fight with Bassa, that I've ever seen. The whistle is gone, and the second should be out of the ring by now. Second round scheduled for 12, of course. Nowadays, the official World Championship distance under all the various governing bodies. Curtis has yet to make an aggressive move. I don't think Curtis is a big hitter. Hope I'm not chancing my luck there, but the record doesn't show him to be, and he certainly didn't look like it in the Olympics. McAuley has got a definite reach advantage here. This man is some 2 to 3 inches shorter than he. And McAuley planting punches neatly into the body. Curtis warming up and coming forward. Curtis's hand speed, quite impressive. But that's a good right from McAuley. And I don't think there's any question he has the heavier punch. One low left from McAuley. And the tactics here are a little strange to me. I rather felt that McAuley would be the attacker and Curtis would always be running. In fact, Curtis is the one trying to come forward at the moment. And McAuley is trying to pick him off as he comes in. Good right hand from Curtis to the chin. McAuley definitely making the best use of his reach. So 2 rounds have gone by. I would put McAuley a shade ahead. Curtis has lost 3 fights, and they were all in fights for United States titles, but not one of those defeats was at flyweight. Sometimes they were superfly and also at bantamweight. Now, as you know, we have Rod Douglas with us, and just like to ask you, Rod, how you feel about it so far.
McAuley's boxing really good early stages, but I'm a bit concerned about him keeping his left hand just a little bit low. I'm hoping that Curtis isn't a big puncher, because if he throws an overhand right hand, then McAuley could be in trouble.
Well, indeed, McAuley in his previous fight with Penaloza did, as I said, get quite badly cut up, and that was all in quite the early stages of the fight. So round 3.
Second fight. Round 3.
And the pattern's the same again. The American stalking, and McAuley leading him a little dance. Neatly planted left to the body. He's working to the body most of the time, McAuley. I'd like to know how much he weighs today. McAuley seems to be able to plant his punches pretty well where he wants to, and I think the strength of them is beginning to get through to the American. Curtis's mouth is coming open already, and he's walking on to punches all the time. Dangerous right hand, as Rod was pointing out. McAuley needs to guard against that. Twice in this round, the right has caught him high up. He's got a little bump on the left cheek, McAuley. And that's undoubtedly been done by the right hand. Low left hand again, so McAuley got away with it. Good right. Curtis taking these punches quite well, but he's certainly under heavy pressure at the moment. The Irish boy handling this extremely coolly. He looks the part, he looks like a champion, and he hurt Curtis again with a body punch, and the legs almost went. Curtis being roughed up in his own corner, and his face now contorted with pain, I think. That was a very good round indeed for McAuley. And in the closing 30 seconds of that, he wreaked some havoc on the American challenger at the end of the 3rd round. We're going to have another look at this. Here we are with Curtis in his own corner. He'd already looked to be in some trouble, and somehow or other, although he's doubled over, McAuley is prizing a way through to the body again and hurting him. And when Curtis came out of that corner, he had quite a grim look of pain on his face. Again, see how he gets to him. That was the one that did the damage. That was a left into the ribs, and it hurt.
Second time. Round 4.
So McAuley in command a quarter of the way through. Curtis may already be realizing that he's not going to outbox his opponent, and if he can't supply a big punch, he's got real problems. Again, that sneak right from Curtis caught McAuley. Curtis still determined to come forward. Some of Curtis's punches look a little slappy to me. Again, McAuley works into those ribs on both sides. Says quite a lot for Curtis's courage that he's still prepared to walk in, even though he's getting hurt. McAuley switched the attack for the moment to the head and then went back to the body again. Not the decisive round that McAuley had in the third, but nonetheless he's done plenty of work. Right to the ribs again. And Curtis was trapped again, right in his own corner. Rod Douglas, did that round surprise you? Because the third was so decisive with McAuley, I wondered whether perhaps he was going to finish it in the fourth.
McAuley's boxing comfortably in this round. It doesn't seem too bad. Maybe he's starting to mix it a little bit. So maybe if he laid off a little bit, feinted his punches and drawed Curtis's lead, and then capitalised after he's made his mistake.
You're still impressed with McAuley?
I'm very impressed. He's boxing a good fight.
Good. Incidentally, I'd just like to say, if Gary Mason, our heavyweight champion, is watching or listening, we're all sorry to hear of the eye problem, and everyone here wishes him the best and hopes that he'll be back in the ring before too long.
Seconds out. Round 5.
Round 5, the IBF Flyweight Championship of the World. Dave McAuley, the champion, in green. And this diminutive, neat-moving American challenger, Louis Curtis from Maryland, formerly out of Washington, D.C. The worst defeat Curtis ever suffered was in 1988, a 2-round defeat at the hands of Orlando Canizales for the vacant USBA Super Flyweight Championship. He was down twice in that second round, and after the second knockdown, he was so shaken that the fight was instantly stopped. McAuley might just have to be a little more aggressive in this fight. We've got 3 judges who will be scoring in this fight, sitting ringside, and they may not appreciate too much if McAuley backs off all the time. The referee doesn't score the fight at all. Little nervous tap on the canvas from Barney Eastwood, the manager of McAuley. And I should say, come on, let's have a little bit more work. Perhaps taking it a little too coolly at the moment. Could well be that McAuley is thinking to himself, I might have to go all the way with this fella. And he's pacing himself. Curtis, this rather strange style with the head bowed over to one side. And nothing in that round at all. You see what I mean about, I thought that was a sort of contortion of pain at one time, but I begin to think it's just his natural look. Louis Curtis. Rod Douglas, I don't think this boy's a hard hitter, do you?
I don't think so. He's caught McAuley a couple of times, but it didn't seem to affect him. And all what he has thrown at McAuley already, no effect. So I don't think he's that much of a puncher.
Hasn't quite come to life, has it, yet, the fight? It's threatened to in the third, but it's very quiet.
It's warming up. It's very warming up very well.
Okay.
Second time, round 6.
So here we are, rapidly approaching the halfway stage. Whenever anybody discusses Dave McAuley, they tend to say he's always involved in wars with his opponent, but this one is not quite the same as that. McAuley begins to plant the punches to head and body again, as he was doing earlier in the fight. And the moment he does, suddenly Curtis begins to look very vulnerable. He needs to keep that up. A lot of Curtis's punches are landing with the inside of the glove. Neat, short left jab there from McAuley. Almost like the Breland punch that put Hannigan down the other week. And again. And Curtis ducking and weaving in front of McAuley and ducking and weaving into trouble. That's a good left hook. It's again a very good round for McAuley. Everything getting through. Tremendous encouragement from McAuley's corner now. Come on, get in there. They can see signs of weakening in Curtis. The sixth. But full marks to Curtis. This American never stops coming forward. He's walking through everything. That's a good punch again. That little neat, short, crisp left hook. This is a very big round for the champion. That's a fine round by the Irish champion. And the referee is having a word with the McAuley corner. I think possibly saying, I need a little more peace and quiet from that corner during the round. Maybe they were making too much noise, too much encouragement for their fighter. You're not allowed to shout out or coach, call instructions to your fighter during the fight. Right, let's have another look at some of the action from that round. This was a big one for McAuley, and he was getting through again, picking his spots. And there were moments here when he really had Curtis under heavy fire, either to the body or to the head. He was very effective with that short left hook. This is just towards the end of the round. That was a beautiful punch. Prime example of the one he was doing so well with in that round. So again, McAuley well on top.
Round 7.
So we move into the second half of this fight. No knockdowns as so far. McAuley apparently having a breather. He was right above me then, maybe he heard. Every time Curtis gets his back to the ropes, he finds himself in trouble. A distinct change in the pattern now, with Curtis backing off for the most part, and McAuley doing the advancing. I have a feeling the American is getting very, very tired. He's not walking forward now. Oh, McAuley's looking for him. Good right hand. He takes a punch well, Curtis. McAuley's have a lot of men on the floor with punches like that. McAuley was really picking him off almost as he likes. Seventh round, and it's another good one for the champion. Well, McAuley started that round very quietly, but finished it very strongly. So he's now, on my card anyway, got a very, very strong lead indeed. Good action here from McAuley in the last minute of that round. That was the good right hand. That's just about the best punch McAuley's thrown throughout the fight. Another look at it. He did well to take that the way he did, because I've seen so many men on the floor from that sort of punch from McAuley. He is a good banger. Corner a little worried about the eyes. There's plenty of grease being smeared over them. So far, no sign of injury.
Seconds up. Right in.
Well, McAuley's done plenty of good work, but he hasn't yet quite produced the big one that will make this place absolutely vibrate with excitement. But it could be coming up. Admirable courage from the American. She really is taking a quiet pasting here. And Curtis now not producing anything to worry McAuley, and McAuley is really giving us an exhibition of boxing here. It's almost like a sparring session. He's allowed to go at his own pace. He's allowed to pick the spots where he can do some damage. And he's handling the whole thing very adroitly indeed. And there's nothing Curtis can do about it, apparently. 8th round. Another of those savage punches to the head. Again, he takes it so well. Wiry little man, but full of courage and strength. Well, we've had almost 8 rounds now, in which Curtis has only rarely shown signs of danger to McAuley, the occasional right hand, most of them early on. And it's a sort of quiet domination by the Irish champion. That's another good punch. Curtis's head snapped back from that. And that's another very good round indeed from McAuley, in my opinion. And I'll ask Rod Douglas what he thinks.
Yeah, Dave McAuley boxing fantastic tonight. They say a good fighter isn't the one that throws a punch, but one that delivers a punch. And he's definitely doing that tonight.
Anything you think left in Curtis to pose any real problems for
I
McAuley?
can't see Curtis causing McAuley any problems at all. He's boxing right out of his skin, McAuley, boxing very well.
Right, let's have another look at a bit of McAuley's work in that round. And he came close to taking one there, and then he produced a very good punch that snapped Curtis's head back. That was it.
Seconds out. Line 9.
4 rounds to go. Both of McAuley's previous world title wins have gone all the way. Making Irish boxing history here tonight. McAuley, the first Irish boxer ever to take part in 5 world title bouts. 2 with Basser that he lost, and then the win against Duke McKenzie, the defence against Penaloza, and now this defence. And you have to remember, of course, that way back, McAuley was a very fine amateur, both Ulster and Irish champion several times over. And of course, for a time, he held the British professional title. So it's been an illustrious career, and it's at its peak right now. Curtis chasing, but a touch desperately. McAuley easing off. Whichever way Curtis turns, he finds a punch to meet him. Must be so frustrating for this American. He's come forward for 9 rounds and really, well, all bar 1 round. And has achieved almost nothing. Well, of the two, McAuley certainly looks the fresher. This man's been boxing since he was 8 years old. He's now 28. He had over 200 bouts as an amateur. He actually works as a chef in the family restaurant in Larne, which is about 20 miles north of Belfast. He's a married man, has a 4-year-old daughter, Sasha, and he's a very intelligent young man indeed. And he's boxing a very intelligent fight here tonight, doing nothing stupid, and keeping it in command and taking no risks. And unless I'm vastly mistaken, he's a long way ahead on points.
Second time, round 10.
Curtis seems to have found a second wind. He had a very rough passage about 2 rounds ago when he was no longer coming forward. But now he is back into the attacking mode, but still not finding anything with which to trouble the champion. McAuley camp wipes some water away from the corner under the instructions of the referee. McAuley moving into aggressive action again. The head punches have been the spectacular ones, but really the body punching has probably played a bigger part in this. And it isn't too often you see one of ours boxing hitting so well to the body. Once again, when Curtis is trapped on the ropes, McAuley scores heavily. Curtis picking up a few points here with 1 or 2 left jabs that are getting through. And there's no doubt the American challenger has raised his pace a bit here. Well, he has to do something. Bell coming up to end the 10th. With just 2 more rounds to go. Now much livelier looking Curtis striding back to the corner. He certainly seems to have found a second wind. Would you agree with that, Rod?
Definitely, Harry. McAuley has boxed a really good fight, good strategy. And he's literally placed his shots where he wanted to on Curtis. But all due respect, Curtis has still kept trying and still kept coming forward, and he's trying a little bit harder.
So he might just have a little surprise left in store for McAuley. Well, we shall see. But there are only 2 rounds left to go now. And McAuley is well out in front on my card. But we have 3 judges here, 1 from West Germany, 1 from America, and 1 from Great Britain. British judge is Roy Francis, former boxer, and of course a very well-known referee in Britain. Again, McAuley comes out of his corner, liberally daubed with grease. And I think at this point, McAuley just needs now to keep the attack going, just to impress himself on the judges, just in case there are any doubts. Now these are the moments, of course, in these last 2 rounds when we shall see whether that business on the scales yesterday really was important or not. He had to take 8 ounces off, and there isn't much on him to take off when you look at him, but he got it off in half an hour. But if it was a problem, then these are the moments when he'll begin to tire. Nice combination of punches there from McAuley, all to the head. Peppering him with left hands in the face, hurting him to the body. McAuley again at his best, doing everything right. A little bit marked on the face, McAuley, but not dangerously. Another solid right hand to the American's head. It's been a battle of strategy, this, which has taken me by surprise. I didn't think it would be this sort of fight. And surprisingly, not one single knockdown, at least not so far. Closing half minute of the 11th. McAuley in charge. The 11th, just 3 minutes fighting left, and while they take their final 1 minute's rest, let's hear from Rod, your summing up of the fight.
Well, you could be right about Dave with the 8 ounces that he took off at the weigh-in this morning, last night. So, I mean, he's placing his punches really well, but he hasn't got the deciding punch to finish the fight. But he's boxing a good tactical fight.
And if he did have a problem, again, he would need to pace himself, and that's what he seems to have done.
Right, that's right.
So we come to the closing stages of this World Championship fight for the IBF flyweight title. Here's the challenger, with just 3 minutes left for him to take this title away from McAuley. I think a points decision is out of the question for him. If he's going to win, he's got to go for the knockout. And the Irish crowd here in the King's Hall in Belfast beginning to get ready to cheer. The closing 3 minutes of the IBF World Flyweight Championship. McAuley on St. Patrick's night, wearing the green of Ireland, and his American challenger in white. And a good start to this closing round by McAuley. He looks as though he's determined to take it to Curtis now and go all out for the final 3 minutes. The first World Championship fight staged in Ireland on St. Patrick's night since 1923. And it's all McAuley as the cheering begins to ring out in this famous hall. Curtis bravely sticking to it as he's done all through this contest. Taken McAuley's best punch as well. He's always tried to do something, even if a lot of it has been ineffective. McAuley quite clinically boxing his way to victory. The rapping you can hear is Barney Eastwood hammering the canvas, urging his man to keep going. Closing moments. And it ends more or less as it started, with McAuley placing punches where he wants to. And Curtis misses, and Curtis goes to McAuley and nods at him as if to say, yep, you were the better man on the night. And I know it. Well, it hasn't been one of those sensational, rip-roaring fights that you do sometimes see in Ireland, but it's been a very, very fine performance indeed by the world champion Dave "Boy" McAuley from Larne against a brave opponent, Louis Curtis, the former American Olympic representative. But now we have to wait just a few moments for the scores from the three judges, and those three judges are Wilhelm Gerber from West Germany, Roy Francis from Great Britain, and Milton Green from the United States. The referee has no part in the scoring. And for once, the ring seems to be occupied by the people who are entitled to be there, and by nobody else. So the singing is beginning, but it's a fairly subdued sort of singing, because it was that sort of fight. It was really a very clever tactical battle by McAuley, and it might just be that there was a bit of a weight problem and that he couldn't afford to go all out, all the way. And if that's true, then he's conserved his strength extremely well, and he's boxed a very clever fight indeed. And here's a brave challenger, Louis Curtis, from Forest Heights in Maryland. And meanwhile, we still wait while the three judges' cards are checked. And those three scores are now being put into the hands of our MC, Danny Small. And he'll give us the news. Long conversation between the two of them. But now all is ready. And here's our MC with the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the decision of the judges. Judge William Gerber scored McAuley 120, Curtis 108.
Didn't lose a round, McAuley, on that card. Did not lose one round. 120 points.
Judge Roy Francis scored it 118, McAuley 109, Curtis.
Roy Francis presumably gave 2 rounds.
Milton Green scored it 119, McAuley 108, Curtis. A unanimous decision.
It's a unanimous decision, and it's an overwhelming decision. Huge margins on all three judges' cards for the world champion. Dave McAuley remains the IBF flyweight champion of the world. That's a fine win, and the applause rings out here all around the King's Hall. And Jim Neely is up there, and I think he's ready to talk with the champion.
Dave McAuley, congratulations, still world champion. A great night for yourself, and a great night especially being St. Patrick's night.
Brilliant night, Jim, but Curtis was a lot stronger than we anticipated. I caught him with some lovely good left hooks and some cracking body shots, and he was still there. He was hurt, but you have to give him, you have to hand it to the guy. He took a lot of hard shots, where a lot of other opponents would have filled it, so they would have I take my hat off to him because he was very, very, very strong.
Are you surprised that he seemed to come to you right from the start?
Well, that's not his natural form. He's a counter puncher. So in order to win the title, you had to come and get it. And I wasn't going to let that happen.
Absolutely delighted, and one or two more defences, I think, in Dave McAuley.
Well, at least another 2, or 3, or 4, or 5.
Keep talking, Dave. Congratulations. Well done again. Well done.
The world flyweight champion Dave McAuley, who tonight has unanimously and comprehensively outpointed his American champion Louis Curtis.